We're in. Here we go. We're on. We are live for episode 3 of Garage Area for 2014. I am Adam Johnson, and this is Chris Flynn.
Hello.
In the studio. But he's here, and he's got a profile picture this week, as you'll notice.
My favourite junior car from last year.
Your favourite ever junior car. That surprises me. I thought he had like some cars that would be more favourite than that. That made sense as a sentence.
It's red and white, and I'm an Arsenal fan, so.
Oh, there you go. That makes sense. Righto. So we are here today to discuss. We are here to discuss the weekend's action at Daytona, in the Nationwide and the Cup Series. There wasn't action in the Cup Series in the end, but there was crashes, loads of action, and then stop and rain.
Yeah. It was frustrating to watch.
It was frustrating to watch, yeah. But over in Europe, we'll be talking about this later, over in France, they had rain in their NASCAR Whelen Euro Series race on an oval, and they just kept going. So we'll talk about that later. And we'll also have a mid-season review, and anything else?
Not what I can think of.
Nothing you can think of. Okie doke. Well, if there's anything else coming up, we'll deal with it as that comes up. So let's start with the action at Daytona. Everyone who's listening in, by the way, we've got one viewer apparently. Well, that might be checking that it's working. So, yeah, so we'll start with Daytona, shall we?
Yep. It was frustrating.
As I say, you're still here, aren't you?
Yeah. Frustrating to watch.
Yeah, yeah, we'll start with the actual nationwide race first, because that was the race that actually happened.
I didn't.
A cuppy, but it's not one of the regular cuppies, and it was apparently quite a good race in the end.
I didn't watch it, so I can't comment.
You didn't watch it. I watched some of it. We're really good at our research here, ladies and gents, aren't we?
Actually, that's a lie. I saw the last 2 laps.
You saw the good bit at the end, when there was a brilliant finish. And ironically, it seems to be that the best bit was when they just completely ignored the whole rule on tandeming.
Yeah, and that was weird. NASCAR didn't even try and enforce it.
Yeah,
just let everybody do it.
Yeah. I honestly think they've just given up on it. It's just like, yeah, it's one of those rules that we can't enforce at all because it's kind of rubbish, so let's just sort of ignore it.
Yeah, it's a stupid rule anyway, and by not enforcing it, they're doing us all a favour.
Yeah, pretty much, because it just produces much more... I was about to say much more good racing. That does not make sense as a sentence. It produces better racing. Much better. Yeah. And in the end, I think it was JR Motorsports teammates going at it, which was Casey Kane and Regan Smith.
Yeah. Pity it wasn't the other way round and Regan Smith get it, but...
Yeah, I believe that's how it went at Daytona in February.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I guess it's alright. As I say, Casey Kane's one of those cuppies that's not overbearing now. But I think my shout-out for driver of the race is the guy who finished 3rd, Ryan C.
Yeah, that was... Like I said, I didn't watch the race, but that's surprising to me.
Yeah, like, seriously, who is this guy? Because he turned up at the start of the year. I believe he's running for truck points. He turned up at the start of the year in an unsponsored car all year, and he just keeps pulling off these great results. I remember earlier in the season he pulled off an amazing save, worthy of Jamie McMurray. And now he's getting a 3rd, he's getting top 5, top 10. He's doing a sensational job in a car that I believe, as I said, still doesn't have a sponsor.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
We're talking about some talent in the Nationwide Series and that. Sure, I mean, Chase Elliott's the one hogging all the attention, but I mean, someone's got to give an attaboy to this guy.
Yeah.
He's doing a seriously good year.
Can he keep it up, though? Can he keep it up?
Can he keep it up? Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, I don't think he's running full time in the Nationwide Series. As I say, I believe he's actually running for truck points. So, may just be in the Nationwide. He's like, sod it, we're not running for points. Let's just go for it.
Yes, probably the best way to do it sometimes.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I actually quite like his car design. Is actually really nice, even when it's unsponsored. It's like black top half, orangey red bottom half with like bright yellow separators in that, and there's some stripes on it and everything, and it looks good. Like most unsponsored cars, are just a flat colour.
Yeah, like the 98, just black.
The 98, yeah, and I mean this car looks good. I almost want them to make a diecast of it. I mean, I hope he like pulls off a shot victory just so Lionel have an excuse to make a diecast of it. It looks that good.
not much else to say about the nationwide race, really, was there?
Not much else to say. Yeah, that's why I'm basically hyping up Ryan Sieg. This is basically from the Ryan Sieg fan club.
Yeah.
But yeah, good. Well done to Ryan Sieg. I'll tweet the show to him after the show, see if he responds. But yeah, Ryan Sieg, probably the man of the show in the nationwide race, which neither of us paid much attention to. But racing, I mean, the nationwide restrictor plate package is still, it's kind of what the Cup Series one was a few years ago. It still encourages sort of tandeming, but less so. Especially this year when they're like, no, you're not allowed to tandem. This car tandems a lot, so what are we supposed to do? Oh, we'll just, if you tandem, then we just won't pay attention.
Yeah.
Classic NASCAR rule enforcing right there, and we'll come on to that more in a bit. I've just thought of something else we can talk about later on. So
yeah.
Stick around for that. And so let's move on to the Cup race, or what there was of it.
It's hard to watch because it just stop, start, stop, start.
Yeah, it was unbelievably frustrating. I mean, the original Saturday night race rained out completely. There wasn't even a lap turned. Sunday, they got underway, but even on the pace laps there was rain, so they had another pace lap, and then they went 5 laps and there was a bit of rain, and then they stopped. It was kind of like a British summer's day. You could see on the TV it was sunny,
yeah,
but you're like, oh, but it's raining? What?
It's mad. It's that Florida weather. It just rains and then sunshine, rain, sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. As I say, it's like a British bank holiday. Pretty much. You can't tell what's going on. But the racing that did happen, I have to say, I was a little bit worried that, because obviously back at the 500 in February, we had 30 laps of terrible racing in the day, then it was rain delayed till the evening, and the rest of the race was absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
Still probably race of the year. I know it probably is for you as well, for predictable reasons. But definitely race of the year for me so far. It was one of the best Daytona 500s in years. And I was worried that now they're racing back in the day again, that would have an effect. I'll tell you what, from the drop of the green flag, they were 2 and 3 wide.
I know, it was constant 2 and 3 wide all the way to, I think, probably the end when they called it.
Yeah, even when they were having huge, like, 26-car entire field wreck. Like, not a big one, a huge one. That's how it was described. Yeah. Even when they were doing that, I mean, I can't remember, even with the old car back in from 2007 on back, I can't remember a plate package which saw consistently 3 wide every lap at Daytona. Normally it was 2 or 1 lane.
Yeah, I was watching, I watched a race from Daytona in 2000 and something, and it wasn't anything like what we have today.
Yeah, no, I remember the racing as being good, but it was mainly 2 lines.
Yeah.
And now this third one's come up, and even the middle is a viable option. You never get that before.
Yeah, it was always inside.
You went in the middle before at Daytona, and it was literally like, oh, you're third, are you? Well, you're going to go right back to the last position now.
The sucker hole.
The sucker hole, that's it. That's exactly what Darrell Waterfalls calls it. But now even that doesn't seem to exist anymore.
Yeah, and it's just perfect package at the moment.
It is, but I'll bet you NASCAR will somehow change it next year, because that's what they do.
Yeah, just leave it alone. Just please.
Yeah. Well, as we said, the race itself, kind of frustrating because it was kind of fits and starts. Had some pretty huge wrecks, and Kyle Busch ended up upside down, and he, which prompted a quite amusing radio message where he was like, "Hey, I'm just hanging out here. How you doing?"
Yeah.
Just like, yeah, you just had a massive wreck, but yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm hanging upside down here. But and in the end, I mean, we had an unpredictable top 5 in qualifying because of the believe it, that was rain delayed as well. You had David Gilliland on pole, and people like Bobby Lebowski up in the top 5. And then you had an unexpected winner, where it's Aric Almirola took his first ever Cup Series victory.
Yep.
Which is, I mean, it's fair enough. You know, people will try and discredit it, but he was there. I mean, they ended the race there. What are you going to do? Not award the victory because the race didn't finish.
Yeah, and shout out to Stephen who actually picked Aric Almirola for the race win in the game.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, in the NASCAR Fans UK. This podcast is in association with them, by the way. We should give them their regular shout out. Yeah, no, did you pick Aric Almirola?
Yeah, he was the only guy.
I'll tell you what, I think we completely got our predictions wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't banking on rain, and so mine was wrong. Yeah,
no, I mean, I can't remember who we predicted. No, I predicted Tony Stewart because he's always very good at the July Daytona race, and he just, that wasn't even a factor.
And I predicted Junior for the double, but that didn't work.
I'll tell you what, if it had gone, the race had gone regularly, I think you wouldn't have been far off, but it was one of those weird races where it just all sort of went up the Swanee, really, and it all went a bit nuts. Excuse me. my throat has decided to malfunction at this point in time. So, yeah, is that about it for Daytona?
I don't know. I don't know what Greg Biffle was thinking. I don't know where he thought he was going to go if he moved. Was it Kane?
Oh, he was the one who caused the massive wreck, was he?
Yeah, you just bumped Kane out of the way. I don't know where he thought he was going to go. I mean,
yeah,
you're free wide on the outside. You can't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like, really, you're going to do that? We have had some guys lock in, by the way, over on the YouTube stream, which we'll link up to on the Team Bombersports Facebook page and Twitter and everywhere else. Lock in there. We have a few people tuned in. We have our high and mighty Kevin Gravenall, head of NASCAR Fans UK and official celebrity. Since his appearance, he says he agrees with us. He says Daytona was awesome. Plate racing has been way better this year. And he was also worried that it would be single file too, especially with the hotter temperatures and slicker track. That's what I meant. I mean, we saw it back in February when they were out in the day, single file. No, it was just like, yeah, we're not going to even try and go 2 and 3 wide. And then at night, it was just like, let's go wild.
Yeah, they've got it spot on. Just now, please, NASCAR, please, please, please leave it alone.
Yeah, leave it. Stop it. As we said last week, Brian France clearly has ADHD because he can't leave anything alone for 5 seconds. Just like, stop it, slap his hand away. Go, leave it. Plate package, perfect. Leave it. We've also had some comments from NASCAR Racing Videos, who's a YouTuber here. Apparently, basically, in the nationwide race, they didn't interview Ryan Sieg. They interviewed first and second and a bunch of other guys in the top 10 and didn't interview Ryan Sieg.
Oh, nice.
It's a disgrace, really. I mean, as we said, he is definitely our performer of the race in that one, and we are starting to kind of support him. I mean, can you imagine if we ended up getting Team Bombersports stickers on that car?
That would be pretty awesome.
That would be pretty funny, actually. And yeah, as I say, I'm going to tweet him off the race, be like, yeah, you did a good job, man, and see if he replies. But I think that's about all that needs to be said. Oh no, one final thing. I guess this Daytona race proves how rubbish the chase format is now. That a guy who won a rain-shortened race just by being there, and Eric Almirola, fair enough, good driver, never won a cup race in his life. He's now in the chase.
Yes, stupid.
Off of one rain-delayed race victory. That's one, ladies and gentlemen.
And no offence to him, but he's not going to win another race, I don't think.
No, not at all. Not at all. And this just proves, as soon as this chase system was announced, I was just like, nope, I ain't giving this a chance. This is just full-on stupid. Because basically what it does, it brings luck into motor racing championships, which should be about the best performer across an entire season.
Yeah, it's like last year, Junior would have won the championship on this current system, which is, however much I like Junior, that would have been stupid because he wasn't the best driver last year. Jimmy Johnson was.
Absolutely, yes, thank you. And this is the thing, like, I don't get this situation. I mean, they call it Game 7. I don't know if it's a baseball or an NFL term, but they call it Game 7, this sort of knockout thing and eliminator rounds and stuff.
Basketball.
Yeah, it's a basketball thing. Okay, I mean, clearly that's what Brian France was on when he was on that particular meth binge and said, oh, I think that's a good idea. Let's have playoffs in NASCAR. And it's like, no, they don't work. Shut up. Oh, fine, never mind. But yeah, no, it's just, I mean, I tell you what, literally, it's going to get to the end of the year. Eric Almirola's had I'd love to see his average finish for the year. I'm going to speculate it's about 20th, 25th.
Can we find it out? J-Ski, will that tell us?
I'm going to try and have a look. Yeah, do they have average finishes for the drivers?
I don't know.
Let's have a look. I'm going to have a look. But either way, I'm going to speculate that it probably... Well, I mean, Eric Almirola's not bad. We're not slating him. It's not, but he's not up there as a championship contender. And yet he's going to be in contention for the championship at the end of the year just by getting one win at, let's be honest, lucky. He was in the lead when the race was called because of a rain delay.
Yeah,
you get the win, fine. He deserved that win. That's one race in an entire season, and he's got that. And he's going to be in with a shot to win the championship now. It boggles my mind. And you can't even say NASCAR are pioneering new ideas in motorsport because nowhere else in the world have they adopted a system like this. And even F1 trying with the double points plan at the end of the year, that's stupid, but it ain't as stupid as this.
Yeah, they should just scrap it.
Yeah, it's quite rubbish. I mean, I tell you what, I'm a big V8 Supercars fan, and as much as Jamie Whincup has won the championship down there, he is their Jimmy Johnson. He's won the championship down there about 4 or 5 years in a row now.
Yeah.
And as much as that gets tedious, like I wish someone else would win. Fair enough. Every year he is just like the Terminator. He keeps winning and winning and finishing well. Like even a bad race for him is like a 5th place finish.
Yeah.
And he deserves the title every year because no one else can kind of come close to that level of consistency. And that's surely what it should be about.
Yeah, it should be a whole year's work. For
Absolutely. And sorry to cut across you. And one final question. How long have you been watching NASCAR?
Since 1990.
Since the 1990s. So you're like me as well. I mean, I got into it in 2001, literally just after that fateful 500. Literally, I couldn't have timed it any worse, to be honest. I'm like, hey guys, what's going on? Oh.
My first race was 1997 sometime. So I would have been 7 years old.
Wow. Well, see, I mean, we've both watched NASCAR for long enough, as in we know what NASCAR looked like before the chase even turned up, which is in 2004. In 2003, this is the thing, the chase turned up in 2004 after Matt Kenseth won the 2003 championship, having won 1 race out of 36.
Yeah, because he was...
The ironic thing is the chase system now enables you to potentially win a championship off of 1 race win anyway. I don't get that. But anyway, when Matt Kenseth won that championship, he won it comfortably. I mean, he dominated that season, but only won 1 race. But the thing was, every single week, there was about 5 or 6 drivers behind him. Jimmy Johnson, Earnhardt Jr., I think Michael Waltrip was in there. There were a few others who were sort of scrapping away. And one week they'd win, next week they'd be 25th. Kenseth every week was 10th, 9th, 9th, 5th, 7th, win, 2nd, 3rd, 15th, 10th. You know, every week he was there, you know, on it. And he just built up this lead. And I don't remember people complaining about that.
No, nor do I. It was consistency. I mean,
yeah. NASCAR were like, "Ooh, everyone hated that. Let's introduce a chase." And everyone was like, "No, we didn't hate that actually."
Yeah.
And you know, the old way of doing it did produce close championships. 1992, anyone?
Yeah.
You go and well, you can't really go and ask Alan Kowicki, but I mean, dude, how that was like 1 point that championship was won by or something.
Yeah, look at the Truck Series. That's always close. The Nationwide Series is, however bad the Nationwide Series is, it's still always close.
It is, absolutely. And consistently around the world, there are championships where if you get the racing right and you make it competitive across the board for the teams, which we'll get onto in a minute, you get close championship battles. Last year's V8 Supercars went down to the final round. British Touring Cars last year has been to the final round for about the last 10 years. I don't remember a British Touring Car Championship where it was sewn up before then. And it literally boggles my mind.
Yeah, it's just stupid.
Yeah, anyway, so Brian France, you're not listening, but if you are, stop it, please. Just walk away now. And that sort of brings us on to a topic we're going to discuss now. I literally thought of it at the start of the show. The news that broke this week that some of the major teams in NASCAR formed their own union.
I was watching something. I was watching something about old school NASCAR the other day, and Bill France Sr., who started it all, he fought to stop this in the 70s, I think, or the 60s.
Yeah, I heard someone commented in the NASCAR Fans UK group about somebody apparently in the late 60s they formed the drivers' union and they protested about the safety at Talladega. And apparently Bill France basically called them cowards for not racing, and Leroy Yarborough punched him. And
then he filled the Grand National race, as it was then, with nationwide drivers, or whatever it was called in... Can't remember what the Nationwide Series was called.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you just there. One more point on the chase. Kevin has commented again. He's been very active. Guys, all get involved, by the way. He's just made the perfect point we need to do. NASCAR doesn't need a change. With the new 1 point per position point system, that keeps it close on its own. Yeah, exactly. The only reason...
Yeah.
You know, Brian France saw like, let's reward winners more. Award more points to first place then.
Yeah.
You know, it's just... I mean, that is NASCAR taking a ridiculously overcomplicated solution to a problem that could have been solved in about 5 seconds. Pretty much. Anyway, yeah, back on this news about a drivers' union. There has been some suspicion. When it was first announced, a lot of people thought it could end up being a bit like the kart versus IndyCar split in the 1990s in American open wheel racing, which, as we know, kind of didn't go well in the end. IndyCar ended up outlasting kart or Champ Car. And there's not been many teams unions before in NASCAR. However, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Chris. I think it's a pretty good idea.
I haven't read into it really, so I can't really speak.
Well, the thing is, apparently what it is, it's a mix of I believe it's like Hendrick, Roush, Gibbs, Chip Ganassi. It's all the kind of big guns. RCR, I believe, are in there. They all form this union basically to say, and from what I read of it, from their opening statement, they said they would invite any team to join at a later stage. So even the small teams, the Front Row Motorsports and Furniture Row and stuff like that, they'll be all welcome to join. And by the look of it, it basically looks like they want a bit more of the cut of NASCAR, the money NASCAR is getting.
That sounds a bit stupid to me.
A little bit, but I think, I mean, the way I'm looking at it is this. You know, Brian France, we know, he looks at money. He's a businessman, so that's why he makes these stupid decisions, because he sees TV audiences and TV money and stuff like that, and that's why he makes these decisions that he does. But I am of the impression that if the teams had a union that they could sort of oppose some of the stupid stuff Brian France does,
that would be
that's
good.
not a bad thing.
Yeah, that would be good. But if they're complaining just for more money, does Hendrick Motorsports really need more money? They've got 4 cars. They've got
no. I don't think it's purely a case of we want more money. I think it's more a case of Brian France, particularly Bruton Smith. You are raking in a hell of a lot of money from TV money and stuff like that. We want a bit more of that, and we want it spread out across the teams, because it has been noticeable how in the last few years, especially with the amount of times they've had to change the cars, the field is nowhere near as equal as it used to be.
Yeah, it's got spread out more.
Yeah, exactly. And it's noticeable how even the big teams now have to run up to 5 major sponsors during a year.
Yeah, so I suppose it makes sense, really, in that.
Yeah. I mean, if it helps get back to a situation where a small team, like a Front Row Motorsports type size team, in the old days, like not that long ago, they were able to, if they set up the car right and they did a good job, they were able to get top 10s, top 15s, maybe even the odd win at any track on the schedule. Now it's literally a case of wait for any of the 4 plate tracks. That's your only chance.
Or a road course, yeah.
Or a road course, yeah, absolutely. But otherwise, forget it. You're not going to get anywhere. So I think if this union does something like that and it's kind of used properly, I think it could work out quite well.
Yeah, if it gives the teams more power to dictate, but will it? Because it's Brian France.
Yeah, exactly. We can but hope. Excuse me. I don't know what's wrong with my throat today. I think we've done Daytona and everything to death. Before we do our mid-season report, we're going to do a review. Basically, before that, sorry, where Kevin is as well. He may as well be on the show the way he's commenting, the way we're going. He said it's not actually a union. The teams wanted a bigger cut of the new TV deal starting next year. Brad Daughtry said that on TW, co-owner of JTG Racing. Apparently, they already get 25% of TV money. I think so. There you go. That's what we're trying to say. They basically want Brian France and Bruton Smith and everyone, these people, making huge amounts of money off of TV audiences and stuff, and the teams are basically going, we're the ones putting on the show, we want a bit more of that.
Yeah, makes sense that way.
Yeah, exactly, which is, I mean, it'll be very easy to paint the teams as being greedy and going, man, we want more money, but I think from that perspective, I think it's understandable, and I think if this group takes a bit of power away from Brian France and the likes of Bruton Smith, who seems to be kind of all-powerful in NASCAR, I think that can only be a good thing long-term.
Yeah, I agree.
So, yeah, before we do our mid-season report, we will go over to Europe, shall we? We like to cover the Whelen Euro Series, of course. And they made a bit of history the other day at the Tour Speedway in France, which is basically a oval made out of a car park. But I tell you what, it produces very good racing. It's 9 degrees banked at every end. We talked about this last week. The 2 races they held, well, they held 4 races actually, 2 elite division races and 2 open division races for the amateur drivers. And they were all really, really good races from what I was able to see. Their TV coverage is kind of non-existent. On the various YouTube channels and stuff, the racing was very, very good.
I've only seen about 2 minutes of it, so I can't speak again.
I think you've probably seen about as much as I, to be honest, but from all I've seen and all I've read, the racing has been really good. Regularly 2 and 3 wide off into the corners, which is crazy. Basically, I mean, that is not even the biggest story of the weekend, nor is the big story of the weekend the fact that Matthias Lauda took his first Whelen Euro Series victory, and Villarino won again. Neither of these are the biggest stories. The fact is, on Sunday, say that again, sorry?
I predicted that, just like to say.
You did predict that, yes, you did predict that. Did I predict a sweep for Gabillon? Or I can't remember who I predicted anyway. We'll listen back to the last episode. But none of these were the biggest story of the weekend. The big story of the weekend, Sunday, well, I mean, all across Europe that weekend, the weather was miserable.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was
bad.
absolutely horrible. And it was no different over in Tours in France, which is where the Tours Speedway is set. Probably, giving away the title. And so it was raining on Sunday, but instead of over in Daytona, they were putting the covers on and saying, no, we can't race in the rain. Predictably so, obviously it's a speedway. That's a whole other story. Over in France, Tour Speedway, they just went, right, let's get the rain tires on, lads. We've got windscreen wipers anyway. We're going to go racing. And they ran both races uninterrupted, full on rain, and they were really good races.
They were, but to be fair, they have only got 400 horsepower.
Yeah, but I will say this as well. The Nationwide Series, how much horsepower they got? They got a lot more than that.
600, I think.
They got 600 or so, and they ran in the rain at Road America. See, I believe it's not a case of they can't run on any ovals at all in the rain. I think what the Whelen Euro Series proved. I mean, yeah, they do have only 400 horsepower, and to be fair, they are built more for a European way of racing, which means they use the rain a bit more. So, notice how there was no like having to hastily strap on windshield wipers during this race. They were just like, right, let's go, let's do it. But I think what they proved is that on a shorter oval, particularly a flatter oval, one that's not hugely banked, I think oval rain racing could be doable.
I respect, sceptical, because I don't think it would work on a big track. A small track, maybe, but
no, that's what I mean.
Would you want to watch a rain race? I wouldn't. I prefer to wait, do it in the dry.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, the Whelen Euro Series race in the rain was as good as the dry race the day before. And if anything, it threw up a sort of wild card because Matthias Lauda found an outside groove, which was there because there was more sort of rain on the track up there. He had more grip on the rain tyres than down on the inside where it was drying out. He made about 2 or 3 passes, including the one for the win on the outside of Villarino, up there. Basically,
I'd be opposed to it because I think racing in the dry is better. Really, I wouldn't mind the racing.
Go on.
I wouldn't mind the racing in the rain, but I prefer dry because it would just be faster. It'd be better. I think anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, evidently it is probably better quality racing in the dry, but I think in terms of sometimes, I mean, rain racing on road courses in other series adds another dimension anyway, and I think NASCAR should no longer be. I mean, obviously at Daytona, that's a huge 2.5 mile plate track. Even with rain tyres, if you could get them to work, I wouldn't trust them on the track like that. But if they could run like that at Tour Speedway, then I think surely they'd be able to do it at somewhere like Martinsville. Not that there's ever any rain at Martinsville anyway, really.
No.
But I think at like tracks under a mile like that, you would be able to do it. Obviously, you prefer to not do it in the rain, but I don't think it'd be an entire disaster. You wouldn't have to completely cancel races or postpone them or whatever if the rain turns up. I mean, what the Whelen Euro Series did on Sunday shouldn't be underestimated. It was a moment of history. It was the first ever NASCAR oval race in the rain, and it went off well. I mean, it wasn't a complete disaster. It wasn't like at the IndyCar race at New Hampshire a few years ago, where it went green when the track was still wet, and the whole field just spun as soon as they went to restart.
Yeah, that was bad. Yeah,
it was absolutely. Wasn't that the one where Will Power made his feelings known by gesticulating at the cameras, shall we say?
2 middle fingers, yeah.
Yeah, he flipped the double birds, shall we say, which I think was how the whole of Brazil feels after last night. Hope there's no Brazilians listening. They're probably off to the side. Anyway,
or rioting.
Get back on topic. What did we say? Huh?
Or rioting.
Or rioting. Or rioting. Yeah. But anyway, those races were great. They were very good races, and further encourage our belief that Whelen Euro Series should go to more ovals. But I think they're doing it pretty well at the moment. They're making tours a success. They're building up over a few years, making sure that's a regular event, and not kind of going all in too early. But I think now that Tours is starting to establish itself as a sort of centrepiece event for NASCAR in Europe, Venray, Hornerton, Rockingham, all of them, look at them, go on, they're there for you.
They're building slowly, which is the right thing to do. Don't want to rush in and go tits up.
Yeah. Also, I think this is crucial to mention. There are a lot more teams with experience of road course racing in Europe than oval racing, a lot bigger ones anyway. So
Yeah.
mostly road course racing calendar helps out because it encourages more teams to join, like the various sports car racing teams that have joined this year. They know they will join and be competitive because it's mostly road courses. I mean, even on the oval, they were pretty good.
Yeah.
And I mean, my surprise package of the weekend at Tour Speedway is a guy who's actually, I believe he's either 6th or top 5 in points at the moment. Borja Garcia, I may have mispronounced his name there, in the #1 Ford Autolix competition, Ford Mustang. He has actually been the surprise package of the season so far. I believe he got pole in the second race at the weekend and was actually really strong. And you're like, who is this guy? We've never heard of him. He's kind of like the Whelen Euro Series version of Ryan Sieg. That could be our new version. It's like doing a Sieg. That's like our new version of being a sort of guy who's come out of nowhere and is like a surprise. Excuse me. My throat really does not want to play ball today. Excuse me. Anyway, so we are here. We are at halfway in the season. Obviously, we've got past this Daytona race. Thoughts on the season so far?
Brilliant, apart from the 1.5 milers. That's mine.
Pretty much. Yeah, no, I'd be willing to go along with that, really. They have been done so far.
Yeah.
But everywhere else, pretty good. The plate tracks, excellent. Fontana, really, really good. Even Michigan was pretty good racing. I mean, they did stretch out in the end. Short tracks, very good as well. Road courses, excellent, as both Nationwide and Cup have proven.
Yep.
Yeah, 1.5 milers. You're letting the side down, lads.
Yeah, it's just what you're going to do. They need to cut some of them from the. I think there's no way that. Was it Kansas has 2 races?
Kansas has 2. Yeah, that's a shocker.
And to this day, I still don't know why Pocono exists.
Oh my god! I mean, even the Indy cars couldn't make a fun race there.
Yeah, it's just terrible. I'd
They
cut that
desperately
straight.
tried. Again?
I'd cut Pocono straight away. Both races gone. Go somewhere decent.
I'll tell you what, I am not fighting for the defence of Pocono there. I am totally in agreement with you. I don't think I've ever seen... The only notable things I can remember about Pocono are huge crashes.
Yeah, and I'd never like to race there, ever. Same
Yeah,
with-
pretty much. I mean...
Go on.
Go
Oh, same with, what's the other one?
Indianapolis?
No, I'll find it. I'm looking through the schedule now. New Hampshire. Next, tracks.
Oh
terrible.
yeah, the one coming up this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, this weekend, just terrible.
Yeah, no, just forget it. Oh, just quickly, I just thought, are the trucks and Nationwide at Iowa this weekend?
Nationwide is, isn't it? I'm not sure about.
I think so. I think I saw someone that the trucks are there as well.
Next race. Oh no, Nationwide's at New Hampshire,
Oh, they're at New Hampshire as well.
and trucks are at Iowa. It's just
The trucks are at Iowa. So that will probably be, by dint of the truck series being great and the track also being pretty good, that'll probably be the race to watch this weekend.
Yeah,
Pretty much. I mean, we love cup racing and everything, but that is going to be a very good race.
yeah, and Cup at New Hampshire is normally single file a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's really not that great. It's kind of like a short track that's too long. It's like they stretched Martinsville out into a mile, and Martinsville is a half-mile tiny little bull ring, brilliant, and then a 1 mile is too long.
Yeah, it's just flat.
It's one of those tracks that looks like it should be pretty good racing, but it kind of just isn't.
It needs more banking.
Yes, pretty much. I mean, Tour Speedway, as I said, has 9-degree banking. New Hampshire, I don't imagine is anywhere near that.
I know that from my time on NASCAR the game, the bottom line is flat. I don't know if that's true to life, but the
Yeah,
bottom is.
it's kind of marginally progressively banked, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe a bit of extra banking would help out there. But to be honest, we'll save largely our discussion for a fantasy schedule next week. I think we'll talk more about that next week because we're already 35 minutes through. I mean, we never run out of stuff to talk about, do we?
No. There's a lot to talk about in NASCAR.
Very much so. So we'll discuss that more next week. But yeah, there are quite a number of tracks that are barely deserving of one race, let alone two.
Yeah.
So they will come under the microscope next week. For now, let's do our predictions for this coming weekend of NASCAR racing. We have the trucks at Iowa and Nationwide and Cup at New Hampshire. Let's just have a quick look at the entry list, shall we, for both series. I doubt there's going to be many Cuppies in the truck race because it's at a separate track. Nationwide's probably going to be littered full of odds.
Shouldn't we do our results from last week?
Our results from last week? Yeah, we should do that as well. I'm just thinking, I'm trying to keep track of the results so far. I believe we were both level off the first round.
It's 3-3.
Yeah, 3-3. And so this weekend, we had, well, the trucks weren't racing, were they?
No, I picked Junior for the Cup, and did we make a nationwide pick?
We did, and I believe you picked Kyle Busch.
Yeah, I probably did.
Yeah, you probably did. Now, wait a minute. I can't remember. Did I pick Casey Kane last week for Nationwide?
I can't remember. Someone listened to it.
Someone quickly listen back to it. I can't remember. I might have done. I'm not trying to steal credit, but I might have done. Or I might pick Regan Smith. I can't remember. We'll get back to you on that one, ladies and gentlemen, because we're really prepared. And on Sunday, no one got the prediction right.
No, nobody. And Euros.
No one called that one. Over in the Whelen Euro Series, we did predictions for that, and I believe you got one right.
I picked Eddie Cheever the third and Villarino, so I got one there.
So yeah, you got Villarino. I believe I might have picked Gabion to sweep the weekend.
I can't remember.
I think. But we are so well prepared.
Yeah, we're so good at this, aren't we?
We are so well prepared. We'll get back to you on the scores on that, but I think it's still fairly level after this round. No one putting out much of an advantage just yet.
Right then, trucks this week.
Yes. You get the truck race entry list. I'll get the nationwide one.
Iowa entry list. Looking at it now, and no cup guys by the looks of it.
No cup guys.
No, not one.
Yes, this is brilliant. It's the get to... No, that's not it. That's completely the wrong one. I'm looking down here.
Time for some dead air while we pick.
Do what now?
Time for some dead air while we take a while to pick.
No, not at all. I'll just keep leathering. I know that. Here we go. Entry list page. I've got the nationwide one. We have... That's a good start. In the 5 this weekend, it's Austin Thayroult, whoever he's called.
That's the Junior Motorsports, the young kid, isn't he?
He is. He's definitely not a cuppy.
Yeah.
Going down here, we have Kenseth, we have Keselowski. I assume we have Kyle Busch because he did every sodding race. We have Paul Menard, who won the Cup race, the Nationwide race a little while back at Michigan, and everyone's like, "Oh, Cuppy won it." Well, it's Paul Menard. Let's give it to him. He's kind of that guy. There's Ryan Sieg. He's there. Our new favourite driver. Yeah, Kyle Busch. Yawn.
That's it.
And that's about it. Yeah, no, Joe Nemechek's there in the 87. Yeah, he's going to be the Cuppy that wins this weekend. So, right then. Let's start with the truck, shall we?
Okay. I'm going to go for... Not John West Townley.
Not John West Townley. But you never know. He could spring surprise.
I'll go Ryan Blaney.
Ryan Blaney, that's a very solid pick. Also, that was probably going to be my pick.
Oh, I don't know, actually.
No, you're changing it. Go on.
I might go for Wallace Jr., I don't know.
Darrell Wallace Jr. Be a good shout.
I don't know now.
Or tension. Well, I'll let you decide yours. I have settled on mine. It's going to be Matt Crafton. In the number 88 Toyota. You're still pondering over there. Also, it's interesting to look in the Truck Series entry list, the amount of 2013 spec trucks there will be. Which is quite interesting.
And a Dodge.
What, Jennifer Jo Cobb?
No.
No, she's running a Chevy. Where's the Dodge?
Scott Stenzel, never heard of him.
Scott Stenzel, you are my new favourite driver. Go on, bring some glory back to Dodge.
I'm going to go... I don't know. I can't decide.
Torn. Make a decision, man. Go on. Next 5 seconds. Make a decision now.
Blaney.
Blaney, he's gone for it, right? Settled. How annoyed will you be, though, if Darrell Wallace Jr. now wins?
Very.
As I say, I'm sticking with Matt Crafton for mine. I should probably write these down somewhere. And over in the Nationwide, your pick.
Well, do you even have to ask?
Yeah, no, I probably shouldn't have asked you first, because we go for the same one.
Although it could be. Can I just say a cup driver, then that covers it?
No, because there are a number of cup drivers.
Oh, I've got an idea.
No, hang on, no, I've got an even better idea. No, hang on, let's hear your idea first.
Pick the highest placing nationwide driver.
Yes!
Cuppies.
You've got the same idea as me. Brilliant. Yeah, we'll do that. We will, because basically I had an idea a little while ago to basically, however I was going to cover the Nationwide series, I'd cover it as if the Cuppies weren't there.
Yeah, that's what I do as well. That's what I want.
Alright then, brilliant idea. We'll switch tack then. In which case then...
Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott.
Oh, damn it. Probably what I was going to go for, but no, you can have him. I see that, and I raise you. Carlos Contreras is in. He's not my pick, by the way, because there's quite a few promising Nationwide guys who are just on the cusp of doing something, but they haven't quite yet.
Yeah. And then there's also Dylan Quasn, whatever his name is, who's actually awful. Every time I see him with that hat on, I want to punch him in the face.
See, the sad thing is, he was really good where he was last year in the K&N. I believe he was in K&N Pro Series.
Yeah.
He was really good. I honestly believe he's just been moved up way too quickly, and he wouldn't be the only one, to be honest.
And this isn't Rallycross with Rockstar Energy. Take your fucking out. Right. Sorry for swearing, but it really annoys me.
Yeah, I was going to say, parental advisory, but hey, if we suddenly get a barrage of complaints, we'll know that's really affected some people, but I doubt we will. Let's have a quick look at the comments, see if we've been missing anything. We're trying to keep up with the comments this week, ladies and gentlemen. Better than normal. We kind of completely missed them all last week. And let's have a quick look. We've had a load reviewed as spam. No, we've had some about the schedule. NASCAR racing videos have been back in touch. Pocono, no Pocono on the schedule.
Yes.
Yes to a second Atlanta date. No Kentucky. Replace that with Rockingham. No second Texas race. Replace that with Gateway. Replace the second Charlotte race with a race at North Wilkesboro. Bring that track back. I totally agree. It's going to be a big mission to bring back North Wilkesboro, but I totally agree. If it's possible, we should do that.
Have we got time? Because I've actually written my schedule out and it's ready to read.
Oh, you? Well, do you know what? Our last episode was an hour, and we were only on 42 minutes at the moment. So go on then, let's do it.
Right, I've got to go and get it. I'll be 5 seconds.
You know, I shall then.
Talk amongst yourself.
Go on.
Talk amongst yourself. I'll be 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I haven't thought of mine yet, so I will now think of mine now, and it's a subject that's kind of interested me for a while, to be honest, because I always think that the current NASCAR schedule is kind of too conservative for its own good. It kind of goes to the same places every year. The new tracks it goes to, Nationwide and Trucks are more pioneering in their scheduling than Sprint Cup is. Have you found the schedule?
I'm back.
There's some rummaging. There he is. He's back. So you go first because you've got yours planned.
Right. This was incredibly fantasy, so some of it won't happen.
But it's a dream, right?
I've kept some of it the same.
Okay.
Right. Starts at Daytona, Phoenix, obviously. Vegas, Bristol, California, Martinsville, which is the same as.
You keep Vegas?
Yeah, I'd like. It's only got one race. It's an all right track.
Yeah, why not?
So that's the same. So all the way up to after Martinsville, then Texas. Oh, by the way, Texas, Pocono, and Loudon have gone from my schedule completely.
Entirely, no races at all.
No, Texas hasn't got a race.
Oh, well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Texas, Pocono, and New Hampshire have suffered the axe. Chris's axe. He has axed all of them from the series and replaced them with.
First Texas race is now Iowa for Cup.
Ooh, good shout.
And then it's the same. Darlington, off weekend. Richmond. Talladega.
Clarify, you would keep Darlington.
Yeah.
Good.
Right, Talladega.
Yep.
Then Kansas, gone. One race from Kansas gone, I should say. With Rockingham.
Oh, good call.
All-Star weekend. Charlotte. and then Dover. That's still the same.
Yep.
Pocono gone. Next, Milwaukee Mile.
Oh, that's another good shout. These are good schedules, you know.
Yeah. Michigan. Sonoma.
Yep.
Kentucky. I've kept that.
Still there.
Yeah, because it's a bit bumpy. Daytona.
I'll tell you what. No, I'll tell you what. If you're going to keep Kentucky, run it in the daytime.
Yeah, I will do.
Yeah. No, you do that because you are now the new head of competition for NASCAR.
Yeah. Alright, Kentucky and then Daytona, obviously. Keeping that 4th of July weekend.
Yep.
And then, instead of... Because whoever made the NASCAR schedule now, whoever put Indianapolis, Pocono and New Hampshire in a line is the worst person ever. So I've changed mine.
Yeah.
And it's off to Brands Hatch for a summer European tour.
Yeah, I like this. I'm in favour of this.
Brands Hatch followed by Rockingham. Then
the English Rockingham.
Yeah, English Rockingham.
Oh, beautiful. Also, just not wanting to interrupt you, I have been confirmed, apparently, in the comments, my NASCAR racing videos, that I did pick Kane to win the Daytona Nationwide race.
Oh, you lucky bugger.
We're also having some contribution now about the schedule. We had FJoe72 has just commented saying, I believe you're probably going to get to this in a minute when you go through your schedule. They said they should have a road course in the Chase, like Sonoma, or a new track. So, continue.
Right. After the British tour, Brands Hatch and Rockingham, Indianapolis, but then taking a lead from IndyCar here, doing a double header.
Oh.
Saturday night, Indianapolis Raceway Park.
Oh.
Sunday, Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Oh, I like that because Indianapolis Raceway Park, it's criminal that the NASCAR does not race there anymore.
Yeah. Then Watkins Glen.
Yeah.
So that means that I've added 2 weekends in, but who cares?
Yeah, hey, why not?
I've taken a second Michigan race away for Gateway.
For Gateway, yes, another good choice.
Then Bristol, Atlanta, Richmond. Right, now my chase is Chicago.
Not bad.
New Hampshire's gone in place of Montreal. I know you like that one.
Oh, yeah, Montreal in the Chase. Oh, I'm all over that.
And then the second Kansas race has gone in place of Iowa in the Chase. Second race at Iowa. It's
2 days for Iowa, yep.
Yeah. Then Kansas, Charlotte, Talladega, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro.
Oh, in the Chase?
Yeah, Phoenix, and Homestead.
You still end with Homestead. Well, to me, I'll tell you what, I don't think I'll be able to better that even if I spent all day thinking of my schedule. I think the only ones I'd probably add in, maybe have potentially an all-star race sort of situation, so maybe not the full field. Or a sort of situation like the trucks go to Eldora already, Cup at Eldora would be insane. And don't tell me it is possible. It's just there are probably other reasons why they don't do it. That's one of those things. It's like they say, oh, it's not possible. Yeah, of course it's possible. You're NASCAR. You can pretty much do anything.
It's as likely as them coming to Brands Hatch. Put it that way.
It is as likely as them coming to Brands Hatch. I love your shout of Montreal in the Chase, by the way. I think that'd be brilliant. I think if you're gonna keep it exclusively America, I would go. My road course in the Chase would be Road Atlanta, which is the one you speculated on when we talked about road courses a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think that'd be a really, really good shout. Otherwise, I think yours is spot on.
I should send it off to Brian France.
Just arrange a meeting with Brian France. Be like, yep. So we're better than you at your job. Sit down and listen. Here is your NASCAR schedule. Do this next year in 2015, and it will be amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's about it. Because at the moment, basically, all they choose dates on is whether Bruton Smith owns it. Yeah. And how many seats there are in the grandstand. Doesn't matter if they're actually full, they'll just still go to them. That's why they don't go to the short tracks that made NASCAR what it is. Yeah. Because they just don't. I mean, Bristol has huge grandstands around it. If only every short track had grandstands that big, they'd be going there every week. So I definitely agree. Iowa is deserving of more time on the schedule. It's deserving of races on the schedule, as are all the other tracks you listed there. I think basically the ratio as it is some plate tracks, not very many short tracks, which is where NASCAR pretty much came from, 2 road courses in the entire season, and the rest are intermediates, which I think is completely off.
Well, I got rid totally of Texas. and
Yeah.
cut down Kansas,
Yep.
Kentucky.
Kansas. I think only a few of the intermediates are worthy of that. Atlanta definitely, as is Charlotte probably. They are. I mean, Indianapolis for the history. I love your idea about the Raceway Park as well. Because as I said, it is an absolute crime that they took the truck and Nationwide Series races away from there and sent them to Indianapolis.
And the Milwaukee Mile. I can't believe they don't race there
And
anymore.
Milwaukee. Yeah, Milwaukee is outrageous. They ran trucks last year at Rockingham. I don't know why they're back there, because it was one of the best races of the year.
I know.
It was. Yeah.
NASCAR logic.
Yeah, Sprint Cup logic more than anything, because as I say, Nationwide and trucks generally are more willing to take risks, and they are reaping the rewards of that. I mean, trucks at Eldora was one of the big events of last year, so you know, take a risk sometimes in NASCAR. Kevin has chimed in again. Swap Texas Motor Speedway for the Texas World Speedway.
Isn't it a house and estate?
No, I think it's being threatened to close down and become a housing estate. No, it is still there. One of only 7 super speedways of 2 miles or greater in the United States. It is exactly 2 miles long, and I believe it has a road course configuration as well. I think the full oval configuration is closely related to that of Michigan. I thought it was actually a plate track, but I believe at the moment it's like a test track. So might be worth going there as well. I'd be fascinated to see what they do with that.
I've never. I thought it was gone.
Yeah, no, I thought it was. NASCAR ran there from 1969 to 1981, so it's not been on the schedule for a long, long time. I'd be interested to see what they do with it, to be honest. But yeah, that's a good shout, that is. I mean, we're getting so many good shouts at the moment. I love this. This is really good. I believe we're done for this week. What do you reckon?
Yeah, pretty much. I think we've done it.
Yeah, you actually stolen the show with your fantasy schedule. That was absolutely brilliant. And yeah, no, someone on YouTube has just agreed. Adman500 just said that needs to become the real schedule. So you've got a seal of approval.
Thank you very much, sir.
So that has been this week's show, episode 3 of Garage Area for 2014. We will be back next week to discuss the fallout from New Hampshire and Iowa and any other matters arising, really.
Yep.
So until then, we'll see you next week, and hopefully we'll get more people listening live. Thanks to everyone who has locked in this week and contributed with your comments. We've really enjoyed it, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.